I'm coming in loud and clear. Might hear me on the radio. Breaker, breaker, 19. Anybody got their ears on?
Hey guys, it's Eric, owner of Farpoint Farms here in the mountains of North Carolina. Today, taking a look at this, the TinySA Tiny Spectrum Analyzer. Now look, I am not a radio repairman, but I do see the value in being able to see if I have signals that are bleeding over into other bands or into other areas. I want to know that I have clean signals coming out of the radios that I have. And there's a lot of other stuff that you can do with a signal analyzer. This one here, super small. And it does come with some stuff. So first, before we even play with that, I've got this in my hand. That's our little touchscreen pen, pad. But we have some antenna cabling that comes with it. We have a little wrist holder here, so you don't drop this thing if you're outside using it. And we have some adapters. We have a small antenna that can fit right on the back of it, and we have a USB cord to USB-C that charges it, right? And it's pretty darn cool. So what I'm going to do is zoom in on this a bit, and we're going to take a look at some of the features. Now again, I'm not an expert on this type of device, but I do know how some of it operates from playing with it here for the last few weeks. If you're interested in something like this, I recommend checking out some other videos as well to see all the cool things that it can do, because it can do quite a bit. And it's a signal generator as well. So if you were trying to tune an older radio, a signal generator to get your bands all lined back up exactly on the frequencies that it's displaying on the radio, this would be perfect for that. And I actually have some tube radios, and I've had to pay other people to do alignments on it. So one of the reasons I got this was hopefully over the winter, learning exactly how to go ahead and tune my radios and realign them to the proper bands. And this will allow me to do that because I can transmit on a particular frequency and then get everything dialed in so that it all lines up with that frequency. So let me go ahead. I'm going to lay this down because this is going to be a little hard to film with such a small screen. I want to make sure you guys are able to see what's going on. So I'm going to zoom in like that, and I'll go ahead and turn this thing on. And there we go. And so here we are. And it's already, I've been playing with it quite a bit, so it's not maybe like you would see when you first take it out of the box, but I got about a half charge left on it. And when we press on this, we bring up some stuff. We have frequency, level, display, marker, measure, config, and mode. Let's go to config first, and I'm going to do a self-test. You have to have the cabling hooked between the two. Well, yeah, I'm going to do a self-test. Let's go ahead and do that. And it's running through some tests. You're going to see it run through tests. And that's to make sure that before you attempt to align a radio, that the radio signal analyzer is actually hooked up and working properly. Because what if I was a few degrees off on my signal? That would be a big old problem, right? So it passes the test. Now here we are. And let's go back into our modes. We have presets here, so if you were going to be working on, say, CB radio exclusively, you might want to preset it to those frequencies. But we can manually enter in frequencies, and we can change that stuff here. We can also span, how wide a signal do we want to see, and frequency shift we can do as well here. So once you've done your self-calibration, you can do a lot of stuff here. Let's do 87. No. There we go. Let's do this. Let's do 98.50. Right, and what we're seeing is the signals that are in the area producing that. So I could also broaden that out and make my stop in 98.99. And so you're seeing a much broader spectrum. You can see the signal as it moves across, and so it updates. You want to have that. You can also just start it at like 98.8, right? And I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to put the span at maybe just 0.1, or I'm sorry, 1. And it'll give you a more detailed picture of what's going on in that frequency band. So it allows you to do your spreads. There's your megahertz there. There's your decibel gain. And of course your noise floor can move up or down. So you have a lot of stuff you can do there. Let me go back out of this. And we'll go into level, right? What's our scale? Let's move our scale up to a different scale here and see where we're at. And you can change that around. Now you're seeing a much more, enhanced picture of what's going on in that particular frequency. And so any highs or lows you can get in there. All right, let's go into display mode and we'll set our limits, or we'll do waterfall. Everyone loves SDR radios because now we have that waterfall effect. And if we want to, we can move across. Let's go back into sweep settings and let's go to fast. And there we go as it moves through. And you can see our waterfall down at the bottom as it's looking through. I'm trying to think of a frequency that I would actually get up here that would show this fairly well. Let me see if I can find one here. We'll go back and we'll get our frequency and let's do 1450 point. That's kilohertz, right? And there's our waterfall there. You can see there's a very light signal coming through right there. I'm hoping you can see this okay. So we're able to detect, if I were to move, I wish it would move that way, but let's go with 1400. And that's kilohertz as well. And now we've got ourselves a much more closed in, right? We're only in this very short area and you can see the waterfall and the reactions to the static level going up and down, in and out. So there's a lot that you can do here. Again, I'm not an expert by any means, but let me show you how to go into, let's go switch into high mode there for one thing. I'll show you that. So high frequencies, low frequencies, I may have had it completely in the wrong one. There's 299 megahertz, 329 megahertz. I was using this to program some of these RT1s from Retrievis here. So I was trying to figure out what the code or what the frequency I needed was, and you could light it up, and I don't know if the batteries are. Yeah, you can see it jump up. There it is. And I can let off, and it goes back down. Key up, and so it allowed me to pick the frequency. In this case, it was the business band, right, and do it that way. So that's another thing you can use. And again, it's still showing the waterfall down in there. So that was actually the first reason I got it was. The company that I work for wanted to get some more radios, but no one knew the existing codes. So I just used this very simply by doing what I just did to figure out the 4 or 5 channels that they use there. And I was able to program those frequencies in. So that's really cool. So we got that. We can go back into config here and let me go back. We can go into mode, I'm sorry, and we can do these two, switch to low out, switch to high out. So those two there, that is out, right? That is where a signal generator comes in. So I can switch to this, and I'm not going to do it right now because I don't have an antenna hooked up to it, but then I could be producing, say, a signal on 1600 AM, and then I could use that to align an old tube AM radio to make sure that it was lined up properly. So pretty cool stuff. Again, like I am no expert, and you can probably tell by the way that I'm telling this whole thing. I'm a return, right? But what I do think is there's a lot of potential here. We have a storage area so you can record stuff going on here. And again, just by using this one time, I'm changing that frequency around and I get all that. If you want the waterfall, if I want my sweep settings to be, let's go with precise instead of fast, right? And let's see if we can still get that thing to register. There it is, right? So there it is, and look at that. You know, it's not the cleanest radio. It's got a secondary signal that it's producing at a different frequency. So there again, there's a way to look at that waterfall. There's a way to look at where the signals are being transmitted and say, this radio may not be as clean as it came across as. So I think that's kind of interesting. So there's a lot you can do with it. There are a lot of guides on here on the internet, actually a lot of written guides that get really in depth into this thing, plus the website, TinySA, can get into it. But for guys who want to try to repair their own radios or realign older tube radios, this is probably something you need to invest in. Amazingly, the technology you see here has come so far down in price. Just a signal generator by itself 15 years ago would have set you back many hundreds of dollars, let alone something that you know is a frequency counter that showed like this, and not even the scope, but just that bar graph there. Usually a frequency counter would just be a digital display. So the fact that you can get kind of this all in such a tiny package now for such a reasonably good price, it's pretty awesome. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that before I embarrass myself even more with trying to describe stuff that I'm not really an expert on. Obviously, I'll be playing with this a lot in the future, so you may see some follow-up videos where I attempt to do repairs on my own radios. Then I'll certainly bring you along for that ride. But I wanted to show it off. I want to make you aware it exists, and I want to make you aware that it's come down into the price range where the average Joe or Joette I guess it would be Jane, could afford it. That's it for today, my friends. I'm Eric, the owner of Farpoint Farms. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, perhaps you'll think about liking and subscribing, and I'll see you next time. Take care.